Aquarius, Pisces, CUSP. Why you see the future, but feel the world's emotions. Beautiful souls, hey, this is not a prediction. This is your identity reading. Have you ever had a feeling about something before you could explain why? Like, you can walk into a room and immediately feel the energy. You can sense when someone's upset and even when they're smiling. And sometimes you have ideas that seem completely ahead of time, completely ahead of their time. But then you go home and suddenly you're carrying everybody else's emotions with you. If you ever thought, why do I see things other people don't see, but feel things you wish you could maybe switch off? This message might be just describing you perfectly. Welcome in my Aquarius, Pisces, CUSP. Thank you for being here and thank you for hitting the like button. There is something really fascinating about the Aquarius, Pisces, CUSPers because you're standing between the mind and the soul. Aquarius brings the future focus, independence, unconventional energy. It's the part of you that looks at the world and thinks, but why do we have to keep doing things this way? You may naturally question the rules, traditions, and expectations. You don't always want to follow the crowd. You want to understand things for yourself. And then Pisces comes in and suddenly it's not just about what makes sense. It's about what you feel, what you sense, what your intuition is whispering, what exists beneath the surface. And this can create a very interesting experience because the Aquarius side can say, let's look at this logically. Well, your Pisces side is like, yes, but why does the soul feel? So you may spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to balance those two voices. Maybe you've been called too sensitive, too different, too quiet, too emotional, too detached, too idealistic, or perhaps people simply don't know what to make of you because one moment you're completely logical and independent, but then the next you're deeply emotional and compassionate. But here's what's the beautiful part is that you were never meant to choose between these two sides, right? Your gift is learning how to let your brilliant mind and sensitive soul work together. So that's what we're exploring today. Welcome in and thank you for hitting the button, the like button, all right? Leaving comments, being subscribers here, beautiful souls. Your first oracle, your soul essence from the Mystical Shaman Oracle, we got the medicine wheel, right? Number 35. This is what Spirit is going to describe your unique soul, my Aquarius Pisces. The medicine wheel, beautiful card for you because it's speaking about that cycles, balance, harmony, nature, and the different directions of life. So when we look at this for the Aquarius Pisces Cuspers, I immediately think like you... All right, I got totally distracted about a fly on the floor. And a big fly. Okay, he's like crawling on the floor. Right. Like, they don't fly at night, so it's like there's a big brommer that is like walking on the floor. So I just took him out. All right, so let's get back to your reading. You're not here to experience life from only one perspective. All right, you are someone who can often see several sides of a situation. You might be having an argument with someone, and while maybe you're upset, you can still understand why they feel the way they feel. You might even disagree with someone else's choices, but a part of you still thinks, okay, but what happened in their life that made them become this way? That's Aquarius seeing the bigger picture and Pisces feeling the human story beneath it. This is why you may go through periods where you feel completely connected to life and then suddenly need to retreat. Like you need your own cycles. You need time to think, time to feel, time to process. And sometimes you need to step away from everyone just to hear your own thoughts again. The medicine wheel also here is reminding you that life isn't a straight line, right? You don't have to have everything figured out. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to outgrow the old version of yourself. And most importantly, you don't have to force yourself into one identity. You're allowed to be both. The visionary and the dreamer, the thinker and the feeler, the observer and the empath. This combination is part of your soul design. Right? So yeah, before we explore your strengths and signs, your strengths and your challenges, Spirit also just wants to remind you of the beautiful energy that your soul naturally carries. All right. What hidden gift do you have that needs to be embraced within yourself? All right. Your hidden gift, the Zen garden, inner sanctuary. Right. 38. All right. This is really a powerful message for you, my Aquarius, Pisces, classes, because the hidden gift may actually be your ability to find peace within yourself. You may not always feel peaceful. In fact, your mind can sometimes be incredibly busy. You can think about 10 different things at once, and you can replay conversations, imagine future possibilities, wonder what someone really meant, feel the atmosphere around you, and then absorb emotions that aren't even yours. But your soul has a place inside you that is much quieter than all of that. And that is what this card is asking you to discover. Think about those moments when you finally get away from that noise. Maybe you're sitting outside, maybe you're listening to music, maybe you're taking that shower or going for that drive, maybe you just lie in bed late at night when everyone else is asleep, and then suddenly your mind slows down, you can breathe, and you can actually hear yourself again. That's inner sanctuary. It's one of your gifts, because the Aquarius Pisces learns to create peace within themselves. They become incredibly powerful, right? You don't have to fix everything happening around you. You don't have to carry everyone else's problems. You don't have to understand every person. Sometimes, your greatest wisdom comes from simply observing, breathing, and allowing things to unfold. Like, your gift isn't escaping the world. It's learning how to remain peaceful while living in it. And so sometimes our greatest gifts are the parts of ourselves that we've spent years trying to hide. Okay, so let's have a look at why you, my Aquarius, Pisces, CUSP, experience life naturally this way. So here we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is that grounding energy, care, and an instinct to protect what matters. It's clarifying by the Ace of Cups, all right? It's talking about the emotional floodgates. This combination is really beautiful, powerful, all right? This tells me my Aquarius, Pisces, CUSP can be incredibly caring, but you don't always show it maybe in the obvious ways. You may not be the person constantly saying, I love you. Instead, you might maybe show love by remembering something someone mentioned 3 months ago, checking whether they got home safely, helping someone solve a problem, giving someone space when you know they need it, or quietly showing up when everyone else has disappeared. Here's where the Aquarius side becomes really interesting, is that you can care deeply about people without wanting them to control you. You need emotional connection, but you also need freedom, all right? You can love someone enormously and still need your own space, and you can also have a strong instinct for creating safety. You notice when someone is uncomfortable, you notice when something feels off, and you may naturally even want to make things better or easier. But here's your lesson, is that you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? Because when you constantly absorb everyone else's emotions, you can become exhausted without even understanding why, the why behind it. You might think you tired from work when actually you've been emotionally processing 5 people's problems all day. You might even think you suddenly sad when you simply just picked up on the atmosphere around you. And that's why boundaries are so important for this CUSP sign, right? That's why your sensitivity around isn't weakness. Your compassion isn't weakness. Your emotional depth isn't weakness. You simply just need to learn what belongs to you and what doesn't. And this isn't something wrong with you, right? It's just a part of how your soul experiences the world. So your inner strength that keeps you moving forward. Here we have the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like this is the energy of your ability to start again. Let's build something real. Yeah, here's the Page of Wands, right? Let's see what is possible. That is such an Aquarius Pisces combination, is that you can dream something completely different and then eventually find a way to make it real, all right? Maybe you've had ideas for years, like a business, a career project, a new career, a different lifestyle, something you wanted to learn, something you wanted to create. And even if you don't immediately act on it, all right, there is that little spark, that doesn't completely disappear. You come back to it, all right? And that is one of your hidden strengths, is that you may have periods where you feel lost, but there's something inside you that keeps whispering, there has to be more. You know, that little voice can eventually get you moving again, all right? Your strength isn't that you never lose your way. It's that sometimes something inside you keeps searching for the next path. And when you finally see an opening, you can finally surprise people how quickly you move towards it. Like your strength, again, it's like your strength isn't measured by how often life knocks you down. It's measured by how many times your soul chooses to rise again. What is the biggest misunderstanding that people have about the Aquarius Pisces cup? So we have the moon, okay? The moon, let's see. 10 of Swords, all right. So this one is very interesting. People sometimes assume you are maybe confusing, overly emotional, unpredictable, or difficult to understand because they don't always see what is happening underneath. The moon says there's a lot happening beneath the surface, all right? 10 of Swords tells me you completely learn through experience, experience that not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Yeah, like you learned through experiences that not everyone deserves access to your world, all right? You've had severe heartbreak and endings. So someone may look at you and think, why are you so distant? But maybe you're overwhelmed or processing something or simply trying to figure out what you feeling before you speak. Or someone might think that you don't care when actually you care so much that you don't know what to do with everything that you're feeling. And there can also be another misunderstanding here, because you have the Aquarius influence. You can sometimes detach when things become too emotional. People may think that it's coldness. Pisces is the energy that feels everything beneath. It's more like I need to step back, because if I stay in this emotional storm, I'm going to lose myself. And that's not a lack of feeling. That is self-protection, all right? And perhaps one of the bigger truths of this is that not everyone's going to understand you, and that is okay, all right? You don't need to constantly explain your heart to people who are not willing to listen. Those that are just going to misunderstand, all right? Yeah, 19 could be a very significant number for some of you. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, what people don't see is the hardships, also the difficulties that you have been through. All right. So the shadow side is we have the Three of Pentacles here. Okay. The Nine of Wands. Your shadow may be connected to trying to prove yourself while secretly feeling exhausted. You may be incredibly capable. You can work with people. You can contribute ideas. You can bring something unique to the team. But there may be moments when you feel like I have to do everything myself, or if I don't protect myself, no one will. So the Nine of Wands is that energy of like that emotional war, where you've been through things, you've learned things, you've become very cautious. So sometimes you might keep people at arm's length, even when part of you wants connection. You may even become defensive when you feel maybe misunderstood. Instead of saying that hurt me, you might disappear. Instead of saying I need help, you might push yourself even harder. Instead of saying maybe I'm a little overwhelmed, maybe you might even simply say I'm okay and then carry everything alone. But your shadow side, your shadow isn't telling you that you're broken. It's just showing you where you need maybe a little bit of support. Like you could be the person everyone comes to when they need advice, but when you maybe need something, then suddenly you don't know who to call. That's also something maybe to notice, that you also deserve support as well. And again, your shadow isn't something to fear. It's more about something that's asking to be healed. All right. So what is your hidden superpower? Interesting that we got the Five of Cups here. Five of Cups. Let's clarify this. Nine of Swords. Now, this may actually not, this doesn't look like a superpower combination, but I actually like this because it's actually speaking about your ability to understand pain, understand disappointment, fear, and the human experience. You've probably had moments where you felt deeply disappointed. Maybe something didn't work out. Maybe someone let you down. Maybe you questioned yourself. Maybe you spent nights thinking about something over and over. But here's the hidden gift, is you learn. You become more compassionate. You understand people who are struggling, and eventually you can become that person who says that I've been there. I know what it feels like. That is extremely powerful, because not everyone knows how to sit with someone else's pain without judging them. But I'm hearing you can. And when you combine the Pisces compassion and the Aquarius perspective, you can sometimes see possibilities that someone who's hurting cannot yet see. So you can say, I know this hurts, but this isn't the end of your story. And maybe you needed to hear those exact words yourself, right? That your hidden superpower isn't avoiding the difficult emotions. It's learning how to transform them into wisdom, compassion, and understanding. That's your greatest strength, isn't choosing between either your two zodiac signs, but allowing both parts of you to work together. Wow. All right, so the lesson Spirit is teaching your soul right now is the Two of Cups. I'm hearing something about connection. All right, yeah, Six of Cups here. Connection, emotional safety, remembering who the hell you are. The Two of Cups isn't about romantic love always, right? It's about the relationship where you can actually be yourself, where you don't have to perform, where you don't have to explain every feeling, where you can laugh, be silly, be vulnerable, and simply exist. And the Six of Cups is the energy is that you reconnect with that softer part of yourself, you know. Maybe there was a version of you who dreamt without worrying whether the dream was practical. Maybe there was a version of you who created simply because it was fun. Maybe you used to get excited about that little things, you know. Somewhere along the way, life became serious, responsibilities happened, disappointments happened, people changed, and you learned how to protect yourself. But Spirit is reminding you that you don't have to abandon your softness to become strong. You can be intelligent and sensitive, independent and loving, different and connected. You can protect your peace without closing your heart. And this isn't about becoming someone different. It's about becoming more of who you've always been, beautiful souls. All right, closing a message from Spirit. We have here Enchanted Lake. Enchanted Lake, deep dive into your soul. And I think this is the perfect way to close your reading, because my Aquarius, Pisces, CUSPers, there's so much happening beneath your surface that you can spend so much time observing the world, trying to understand people, thinking about the future, feeling the energy around you, that sometimes you forget to ask, what is happening inside of me? So this card is asking you to go deeper, not into everyone else's emotions, but into your own, right? What do you want? What makes you feel alive? What are you afraid to admit? What dreams keep coming back? What part of yourself have you been ignoring because it doesn't fit into other people's the way they expect you to live. All right. You don't have to have all the answers. Like, just start listening, because underneath that noise, beneath the overthinking, beneath the emotions, there is a very quiet voice inside of you, and that voice knows you. It knows what you've survived. It knows what you desire. It knows where your heart wants to go. So my Aquarius Pisces cuspers, before you go, I want you to remember something, is that you're not too strange, you're not too sensitive, you're not too emotional, you're not too attached, and you're not too much. You simply can carry over two very different energies, and your journey is learning how to make them work together, right? Your Aquarius side helps you see beyond what already exists, and your Pisces side helps you feel what cannot always be explained. One part of you sees the future, the other one feels the soul, and so together they create this. It's a beautiful something beautiful. It's two energies, beautiful energies coming together, and so you don't spend your life trying to become easier for other people to understand. I'm hearing learning more to understand yourself. Your soul wasn't created by accident, right? It's two energies you carry. They aren't meant to compete. You are meant to complete each other, come together, right? Everything you've experienced has shaped you into the person that you're becoming. So yeah, trust your journey, trust your intuition, trust your heart, but most importantly, trust yourself. And if this reading made you stop and think, well, that's actually me, well, let me know in the comments what part of my beautiful Aquarius Pisces cusp here today on this soul blueprint described you the most. Was it the overthinking, the sensitivity, the need more for freedom, the feeling that you can sense things before they happen, or perhaps is it the feeling of being completely different from everyone else around you? All right, so yeah, and don't just watch this one quietly. Share your stories below in the comments, my beautiful souls. Perhaps the next Aquarius Pisces might just need to hear that today. And if this reading helped you, resonated, brought you some sort of clarity, do give the video a thumbs up, all right? It always helps the channel out, all right? More beautiful souls might just need the message. Share the message, leave a comment, subscribe here, all right? And before you go, don't forget to check out your monthly or your weekly or your bi-weekly. There's other messages here for my Aquarius Pisces cuspers here on this channel. And also don't miss out the next soul blueprint message, all right? There's another one that will be coming up shortly. And yeah, I'm sending you all so much love and light, and I will definitely check you around in the next one. And yes, there is nothing wrong with being uniquely you.